All right, let's get right to it. Have you ever looked at your company's cloud bill and just scratched your head? If it feels less like a simple expense report and more like a total mystery, then you've come to the right place. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on cloud billing, especially for those of you in leadership roles. We're drawing from a fantastic report by Virtualization Options LLC, a tech research and advisory group out of Colorado that's all about giving executives like you the clarity you need to really get a handle on these costs. Yeah, this probably looks familiar, right? The bill lands on your desk, the number is big, and it's different from last month. And trying to figure out why, it can feel like you're chasing shadows. For so many leaders, cloud spending is just this big, opaque black box. But here's the good news. It really doesn't have to be that way. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll dig into that cloud bill mystery. Then we'll decode what these services actually are. We'll look at how you get billed, arm you with the toolkit for cost control, and wrap up with how to win at cloud finance. It's our roadmap to get you from confusion to total control. Okay, let's dive into that first big question. The cloud bill mystery. Why on earth is this stuff so complicated? It's not just you, believe me, but the reason might surprise you. The complexity isn't a bug. It's actually a feature, a byproduct of the cloud's greatest asset, its incredible flexibility. And right there, that's the core of it. The very thing that makes the cloud so amazing for business, it's flexible, it's on demand, you only pay for what you use, is the exact same thing that makes the bills so confusing. Think of it like a restaurant where you're charged by the grain of rice. That a la carte freedom means you're potentially getting billed for thousands or even millions of tiny little things. Without the right way to look at it, it's just noise. So, to get a grip on the cost, we first have to know what we're even buying, right? Let's decode the basic building blocks of the cloud. And don't worry, we'll use some simple real-world analogies to make this super clear. First up, we've got Infrastructure as a Service, or IaaS. The easiest way to think about this, it's like you're leasing a plot of land. It comes with all the basic utilities already connected, you've got power, you've got water, but the land itself is empty. You have to bring in the bulldozers and the concrete and decide exactly what to build on it. So you get the most control, but you also have the most work to do. Okay, next up is Platform as a Service. PaaS. Sticking with our building analogy, this isn't just an empty plot of land. This is like leasing a pre-built workshop. The foundation's poured, the walls are up, the lights are on, there might even be a workbench and some tools waiting for you. All you have to do is show up with your raw materials and start building your thing. It's way faster because someone else handled the basics for you. And last but not least, the one you probably use every day, Software as a Service, or SaaS. This is the simplest one. It's like renting a completely furnished apartment. You don't build anything, you don't set anything up, you just grab your keys, walk in, and everything works. The furniture's there, the electricity's on, and if the sink clogs, you just call the landlord. Any app you use through your web browser, like your sales CRM or your company email, yep, that's SaaS. Okay, so we know what we're buying. Now for the million-dollar question. How do we get billed for it? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the price tag. You'll generally run into three main ways you get charged, and each one has its pros and cons. First is pay-as-you-go. This is like a utility bill or a taxi meter. Total flexibility, you only pay for what you use, but, the final cost can be a real surprise. Then you've got subscription. This is like your cell phone plan, a fixed fee every month. It's predictable, which is great for budgeting, but you're committed for the long haul. And finally, there's tiered pricing. This is basically a bulk discount. The more you use, the cheaper it gets per unit. It's great if you know you have high, consistent usage. All right, understanding the bill is one thing. Actually controlling it is where the real power lies. So let's shift from just looking at the problem to actively solving it. We're going to open up the Cost Control Toolkit. You've heard it a million times. You can't manage what you can't measure. And that is rule number one for cloud costs. Your cloud provider gives you all these dashboards and reports to see exactly what you're using, down to the minute. The key here is to actually use them. You need to be looking at resource consumption in real time, and this is the big one, you've got to set up alerts that scream at you when costs start to get weird or go over budget. You want to catch a fire when it's a spark, not a blaze. Now, here's a term you're going to want to remember: right-sizing. This is probably the single biggest thing you can do to save money fast. All it means is making sure you're not overpaying. You're adjusting the capacity, the computer power, the memory, all of it, to match what your business actually needs, not what someone thought it might need 6 months ago. It is purely about hunting down and eliminating waste. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Right sizing is about ensuring you don't pay for a V8 engine when you only need to drive to the corner store. I mean, it's so easy for tech teams to build an extra capacity, just in case. But with the cloud's billing model, that just in case is costing you money every single second. It's like paying for a Ferrari to sit in traffic. The goal is to match the car to the trip you're actually taking. Okay, so we've got the tools. Now let's zoom out. Let's talk strategy. Because to really win this game, managing cloud costs can't just be some side project for the IT folks. It has to be part of your company's DNA, baked right into your financial governance and your culture. So here it is, a simple 4-step loop for getting and keeping control. It's a cycle. You start by monitoring and analyzing. You have to see what's happening. That visibility lets you optimize. That's where you do your right sizing and cut out the waste. Once you know what you're using consistently, you can go negotiate better deals, like getting volume discounts. And finally, you implement tools to automate as much of this as possible, so your people can focus on bigger things. But how do you get everyone in the company to care about this? Well, there are 2 popular ways to build that accountability. The first is chargeback. This is pretty direct. You literally send a bill for cloud services to the department that used them. Nothing drives accountability like a real budget impact. The other option is showback. It's a bit softer. You don't actually bill them, but you show them exactly what they spent. It's about creating awareness and maybe a little peer pressure. Both work. It just depends on your company culture. And this really brings it all home. Think of it as a flywheel. You establish policies, you implement optimizations, you use automation, you make sure you're compliant, and of course, you're continuously monitoring everything. The key takeaway is that this isn't a project with a start and end date. It's a constant process, an ongoing financial discipline that just becomes part of how you operate. At the end of the day, what's the big picture here? It's really important to remember this isn't just about saving a few bucks. Getting a handle on your cloud bill is about maximizing the ROI on one of your most important business investments. It's about making sure every single dollar you put into the cloud is working hard for you, driving real efficiency, sparking innovation, and creating real business value. So, we've cracked open that black box. You now have the map. The question for you as a leader is no longer, what on earth is this bill? The real question is, now that we understand it, where are we going to steer this incredible investment next? Thanks for joining me.